Horror movies have always been my favorite kind to watch ever since I was young. I didn't enjoy the slasher films as much, but I did love the ones with paranormal themes. And as years went by, I have come across some great ones, and occasionally I found some pretty terrifying scenes that stuck out more than others. Therefore, I thought I would put them all into one countdown video. These scenes include ones that stayed in my brain for an extended amount of time after watching, and even ones that have given me nightmares. Also, due to complications with my PC, I won't be able to show you the actual scenes. However, I will have images to go along with them. This list is opinionated, so these may not align with what you think is the scariest. I also will not be including scenes that scared me with the jump scare method alone, so scenes like lawn work from Sinister and the appearance of the demon in Insidious will not be on here. Now without further ado, here are my 10 most frightening scenes from horror movies. Oh, and of course, spoilers are indeed ahead. Number 10. Carolyn's Exorcism, The Conjuring. In this famous horror flick, the Perron family has to call in the Warrens, who are paranormal investigators, after their house is believed to be haunted by the evil spirit of a witch. Scary scene after scary scene occurs throughout the film, and near the end, Lorraine Warren reveals that the witch, named Bathsheba, is feeding off of the mother's life force and is trying to possess her. The witch eventually succeeds, and the Warrens have to exorcise her. During that time, she's covered up with a sheet that she spews blood all over, and screams psychotically as Ed Warren tries to cast Bathsheba out. The possessed Carolyn does some really terrifying stuff, like floating up to the ceiling upside down, and at one point, Bathsheba lets out the most bone-chilling laugh I've ever heard. Just listen to it.
Hold it still!
And at one point, Roger Perron starts shouting at the witch to get out of his wife's body, and Bathsheba responds with, "She's already gone, and you're all gonna die." This line in that scene, as well as the crazy screaming and evil laugh, really got me curled up. Number 9. My Name is Parker, Insidious Chapter 2. A continuation of the first film, Josh is now stuck in the further while Parker Crane, the bride in black, is inside Josh's body, planning to kill his family. He later finds Elise, whom was killed by Parker, and they both try to find his way back, as well as try to stop Parker once and for all. During their journey, they come across an event in the past, taking place in Parker's bedroom when he was a child. Parker's mother comes into the room and interrogates him about a drawing he made, where he signs his real name. The mother screams at his son, slaps him, and tells him Parker is not his name, and that it's Marilyn. After this, she spots Elise and Josh, points at them, and howls at them, I guess. But it looks really scary. Even though I don't really like watching child abuse in movies, the character of the mother was so unpredictable. You can never tell when she was going to scream loudly or go for a swing at Parker's face. So when she was on screen, I was very unsettled. Number 8. Moaning in the Night, Mama. This is not at all the scariest movie I've ever seen. It's definitely somewhere down the list though. In this movie, 2 little girls are separated from their father and are found several years later acting like savages. They are revealed to be communicating to an imaginary mother figure simply named Mama. Their aunt and uncle agree to raise the girls as their own, but it's later found out that Mama is in fact a deformed spirit who actually raised the girls while they were missing, and the new parents have invited her into their home as well. During one night, the new mother, Annabelle, has a dream that she sees Lily running around on all fours in the hall outside her room. As she runs back out and goes around the corner, Annabelle can hear low-pitched moaning coming from the other side of the house. Then after a couple of seconds, the moaning amplifies, and Annabelle wakes up. The moaning of Mama was creepy enough in that scene, but when it got louder, I found myself wide-eyed and shivering a bit. Number 7. Ghost Alarm Clocks, Oculus. In this movie, a brother and sister are battling against a haunted mirror and are constantly having flashbacks of their past, where the mirror caused the death of their parents. Near the end, we see a flashback of the possessed father cornering the 2 kids and about to shoot them. but then in order to save them and himself, he shoots himself instead. Afterwards, while the two are mourning over their father's body, all the ghosts who fell victim to the mirror surround them. One of them opens her mouth wide and an alarm clock sound comes out of her. Then the other spirits do the same, which indicated the timer for the kill switch to the mirror in present time was going off. While others might find this just weird, and some probably funny, the fact that it came out of nowhere and just the eeriness of it really creeped me out, and made me jump a little. Number 6. Adam's Time Runs Out, The Ring. A lot of horror moviegoers should know this movie. The story is about a cursed tape that is said to kill you 7 days after you watch it. Well, not only does the main character, Rachel, view this tape, but her ex-boyfriend and son as well. So she and her ex-boyfriend Adam have to discover the history of the tape and how to put the evil spirit that haunts it, which is a mentally unstable little girl named Samara, to rest. Near the end, Rachel seems to have successfully put the spirit to rest, but then it's revealed by her son Aiden that she wasn't supposed to help her. And while this is going on, Adam's time runs out, and Samara comes out of his TV to claim her next victim. She reveals her ugly face and merely just has to stare at Adam to instantly kill him upon screaming. The whole scene where Samara approaches Adam is just a really frightening scene, and is probably the main highlight of the entire movie. This one actually did give me nightmares. Number 5. Jawless Yoko, The Grudge. This is a very popular movie based off the Japanese film Ju-on, where a Japanese girl was viciously murdered in her house by her husband along with her son, and the anger and vengeance of her restless spirit clings onto the house and haunts both it and whoever sets foot in it. In the start of the movie, an elderly lady suffering dementia lives there, and she has a babysitter named Yoko. While she's there, she hears noises coming from the attic and goes to investigate. There, she's attacked by the ghost of Kyoko and has something rather gruesome happen to her. She is later found possessed by Kyoko in Alex's apartment, staggering around the dark abode with blood dripping from her. Alex tries to get her attention unsuccessfully, then turns her around to reveal that her lower jaw has been ripped off. Even though I only saw that face for a couple of seconds, just the fact that I knew what Kyoko did to her and that whole build-up to the face reveal was absolutely traumatizing at the age I watched this. And that face was true terror as well. Number 4. Reagan's Headspin, The Exorcist. Everyone should definitely know about this movie, and the scene I'm talking about. The scene where the possessed and hideous Reagan spins her head in a 360 during the exorcism. There were a lot of scary scenes in this movie for me to choose from, but this one by far terrified me the most. And that's all I will say about it. Number 3. Tina in a Body Bag, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a very popular horror flick, and everyone should know Freddy Krueger by now. There were plenty of scary scenes in it too, but the one that got me the most was this one. After Tina is killed in her sleep by Freddy, Nancy is in school the next day and falls asleep in class. Upon opening her eyes, she hears someone whispering her name. She turns to the doorway to see Tina standing there, still inside of the bloody body bag she was carried away in. She even reaches out her bloody hand to gesture her. God, this was disturbing. The same scene was used again in the reboot in 2010, but that wasn't nearly as much nightmare fuel as the original version. Number 2. House Painting, Sinister. I have to admit, I found Sinister more enjoyable than scary, honestly. But the scene that did blow my mind was the ending. After Ellison spends all this time looking through these snuff films made by Mr. Boogie, and trying to solve the mystery of the killer and the whereabouts of the missing children in each family, he stumbles upon a director's cut that Mr. Boogie makes, and it shows more of the ending to each film, where the missing children reveal themselves as the directors and murderers before vanishing on camera. Then it's revealed that Ellison's own daughter drugged him, and then she manages to make a new snuff film where she hacks up her family with an axe, then paints the walls of the house in her family's blood. Then we see her interacting with the other missing kids, drawing a depiction of the murder, and is then carried away by Mr. Boogie. Then a new film appears in the box beside the others, titled House Painting. This twist really shocked me, and just the feel of the rest of the movie after the reveal was all around unsettling. And finally, number 1, Mary Shaw's Body, Dead Silence. I saw this film when I was like 12 years old, and I gotta say, it traumatized me for the longest time. And the scene that did the most mental damage was this scene. While Jamie Ashen is trying to solve his wife's murder, and after suspecting that it has to do with a curse on his hometown of Ravensfair, brought by an old lady named Mary Shaw, he consults with the mortician, Henry, about Mary Shaw's final moments of life. He says how his father operated on Mary Shaw after her death, for in her will, she asked to both be buried with her doll collection and to be made into one herself. In a flashback, we see Henry as a child sneaking in to get a peek at Mary's body after the surgery. He accidentally knocks over the coffin and is found lying on the floor face to face with Mary. And her face is just one of the most terrifying faces I have ever seen in a horror movie. And they make it even worse by having her vanish, then seen standing over Henry, who is still on the floor. I could not sleep at all after seeing this scene. It was absolutely scarring. I'm sure you guys think I'm overreacting because you might not think it's that scary, but I mean, come on. You have to be on the same boat as me. This was a horrifying scene. Well, I hope you guys like the scenes I picked for this week's countdown. And one of the main reasons I did this is because I will very soon be starting my reviews of horror movies on this channel. Feel free to share any other horror movie scenes that terrified you, or if there are any on this list you think is the scariest. I'm always looking to hear other opinions on this subject. Thank you all for watching. This is Master of Horror. Happy hauntings.